Hi all, Kyber1 here, and I just woke up from a really weird dream. So I'm gonna tell you guys about it. Um, as you know, I rearranged my office last night, and I swapped it with my bedroom, and so that happened in the dream. And so in addition to that, I got back from someplace, and my dad is standing in the apartment, and he's facing what it used to be the office and is now my bedroom. Like, he's facing the door. His head is kind of down turned, and he seems kind of passive. These aren't typical characteristics of my dad at all. And he tells me to go on in. So I enter, and he opens up the closet, and there's a little door in the closet. And I open the door, and he's all like, go on in. And the room behind the closet's smaller, and every room after it's kind of like a linear maze, and it keeps on getting smaller and smaller every room. I don't remember how long I was in the corridor of rooms, if you will, that kept getting smaller. And so I get out the other side, and it still looks like my apartment, like I just came in through the front entrance. Um, but there's all these people here, and they they are unrecognizable to me at first. Um, to the people I run into, and there's a bunch of bunk beds everywhere for all these people. It's really bizarre, right? So I run into my dad's ex-wife who's sleeping in a bunk bed next to my dad's bunk bed. So that's weird. And then I run into my ex-girlfriend's sibling, and that was weird. Once again, another person in another bunk bed. And I keep on having this weird hazy flash of a coworker hurriedly exiting where I work. And then every time I think about my coworker, like, I'm pulled back in by somebody trying to communicate with me about somebody in real life, like one of my friends named Christian and his wife, and I talk to this individual that apparently knows me through them, but I don't recall meeting them. And they're like, "Hey, you know Christian, right?" And I was like, "Okay." And so eventually, I run into this girl who's probably 22 to 25, around there. And she's pretty cute. And so her and I are talking, and I'm like, why are all these people in my place? They need to go. And so, like, everybody from that moment, when I'm like, hey, y'all need to get out, and then my dad's like, no, it's fine. And I'm like, no, Lester and I pay for this place. Lester's my brother. Um, and so you're not contributing, and I don't really know any of you, except for my dad, and I don't know why your ex-wife's here. So y'all need to leave. And then they just start saying things underneath their breath around me, like bigot and stuff. So this girl comes back, a girl I've never seen in my life before, right? And she starts to talk to me, and again, I see the coworker leaving work in a hurry, and like, I'm on the entrance exit part of the cage, and so she opens it and she walks by me, but like, I'm not there. And the 22 to 25-year-old girl, her name's Nina, by the way. I found that out in the dream. She has her hand on my cheek. So I go from actively being a participant, and every time I see these flashes, I start pinching my cheek. Wait. And so, and I feel it. So I'm doing it in the real world, and I feel it in the dream, so I think the dream's real. And I'm laying on my arm kind of funny. And so Nina has a close friend that's also female, and they're under these blankets, and they're not doing anything, but they're there together, and so she seems all right. So I go to talk to her, and so Nina looks at me and she's like, "Do you mind if I blow weed smoke in your face?" And I don't do drugs of any kind at all. And I was like, "Why?" Like, I voted for the legalization of weed, okay? But like, I don't partake, and it just, like, I had a bad experience when I was 14, and I was really freaking paranoid after that. So I think it was like, all right, you seem cool, but like, I'm not gonna smoke it, And like, so her and her friend are naked. I don't realize this yet. They wrap me up in the blanket with them, right? And Nina looks me dead in the eyes, like full on eye contact. She's like, "Hey, you're not scared of anything naked, are you?" And I was like, "Why?" And then she's like, "Look down." And sure enough, her and her friend were naked. And I was like, "Huh, all right." And so then her uncle or weird older friend comes in, and like his friend, they're like, "Hey, Nina, are you in here?" And that's when I learned her name. And so, and Nina looks at me and she's like, "Oh, gotta go." And then I woke up. But what was weird about that is when I was laying on my arm weird, it was warm, but I couldn't feel. When your arm's asleep, you can't really feel it or move your hand much. So it felt like another person was there. And it was just the most bizarre experience. So I just think this dream is weird on so many levels. Like, part of it was like Alice in Wonderland or Narnia, like with the room, and I can't explain why my dad's behavior was so weird. I couldn't find my brother or really anybody else I knew other than my dad, his ex-wife, and my ex-girlfriend's sibling. And that to me was strange. And then I kept on having that really weird sensation about my coworker leaving. Like, it was like a bizarre memory, like from a time when you're too tired to focus clearly, or like you're in pain or something, but it's distorting the experience. And it was kind of hazy, and so people would snap me out of it. But yeah, So that was my really bizarre, weird dream. I don't dream like that often, but when Nina would put her hand on my face, I would go from being an active participant in the dream, able to pinch myself in the real world, thinking that it was happening, to being dumbstruck. Like, I don't know. Like not dumbstruck, just it would be going from actively going out and doing things in the dream, lucid dreaming, if you will. But every time her hand touched my cheek, the dream would slip into a passive state, and I would have to somehow yank away, but not forcefully or whatever. And yeah, it was a really bizarre dream. Um, like and subscribe. I don't know. Leave a comment. Have you guys had any weird dreams like that? Like, but like that's the first time anybody in my dream ever that I can recall ever had a name, and I don't know anybody named Nina. I don't believe I know a single person named Nina. And that's what was weird about it. Um yeah. All right, Kyber one out.